Your boy Joe Hungers here to cast 5 Dicks 1 Urinal versus Super Good Team with my good buddy Rico. Rico, how are you?
I'm eating an orange.
Hell yeah, dude. We got orange ASMR for those of you who are into it.
No scurvy on this cast.
No. Alright, 5 Dicks 1 Urinal, getting rid of the Dazzle. It could be a mid, could be a P1. I think we saw Tank run the mid Dazzle the other week. So that's a sensible ban. I've also seen like both Warlock and Undying run away with some games as well as the Bristle. Nothing like uncommon yet from any of these bans. Rico, you have some recent experience with 5 Dicks 1 Urinal. What would you like to see them, either keep with or maybe change up coming into tonight's series?
Honestly, blacked out that series. Don't remember if we won or lost, but I'll try and pull up some memories here. I think what I remember them doing well is pressuring the map and playing together as a team. They were playing pretty quick and were not afraid to show up. So maybe having some folks that play well together. It's a good team fight. A lot of the bans that I'm seeing coming out of Super Good Team are also bans that my team did against them. I can actually pull up some of ththis recent matches to see what they did well.
Let's do Pudge.
Admiral Konka.
Didn't ban the Pudge. They did well with the Willow as well as with a Weaver. They seem to like the Slardar. And they actually picked a Sniper, Kunkka, and even a Storm Spirit. So lots of options for them coming into this game.
Yeah, a bit of a signature hero here, the Shmooble-Dee-Doo Pudge. I believe it's his most played hero by a pretty significant margin. Having played into it before, it's a threat. So excited to see how he does with it.
How would you like to see this played? Like, what sort of role in the draft should it be taking up?
Well, it's he's a lane dominator with it. Even in close matchups, his individual skill with Pudge is high enough that he'll be running away from the lane safely. I also think Pudge always affords you an initiator, and like a safe initiator as well. Like a skilled Pudge can hook someone to start a fight and start a fight like in favorable positioning, like every time. You're not worried about like running into them with like 5 of them behind them or anything like that. There are bad heroes to hook, admittedly, but I think as long as you're mindful of how and where you're hooking, you're in a good spot. And the Venge, to answer that, so that's actually a good solution to it. You get a buddy you want to protect that gets hooked in, you can swap them out. Oh my gosh, these picks are coming in so fast.
Darkwall and Dawnbreaker, both very strong picks. Dawnbreaker affording you that global presence. If the Pudge finds a pick off, Dawnbreaker can easily follow up on that Pudge ult.
Yeah, and Dawnbreaker, very strong farmer. Gives you the opportunity to push a side lane while, your other 4 heroes push a lane, and you can always ult in to join them. It does make you a bit vulnerable while you're out split pushing by your lonesome, but depending on the Dawn's positioning, it can be a great asset.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting too, because with the Kunkka X as well as the swaps, there's a lot of different options, such as if someone gets hooked, Kunkka could X the Venge, Venge swaps, and then gets X back out. Everyone's very safe, but that would require quite a bit of coordination. The Luna here, okay.
Interesting.
I feel like this hero has been getting a little more popular after the Sven nerfs. Does sort of a similar thing where you can farm the jungles pretty quickly, but then you have the added benefit of also being able to go more of a magic-oriented build, which hasn't looked too good into sort of the Heart Blade Mail meta that we've been seeing.
5 seconds.
Yeah, and she is it does shut down. It's not a perfect counter to illusion heroes, but it does give you the option of fighting into illusion heroes. And I do like
I'm unsure about. Do you know if Luna's ult hits Dark Willow while she's Shadow Realm?
I don't believe so, because I think it targets units and she's not targetable.
Yeah.
My intuition says no.
These next two picks, I'm surprised they made it this far out of the draft. Jakiro, I believe, has been the most played hero in Mage League so far.
10 seconds.
That wouldn't surprise me. Really good team fight and control from
5
both
seconds.
sides as well. I mean, Kunkka, if we're talking about starting fights, you've got the Pudge Hook and you've got the X marks to start. As well as the swap, you can go for an offensive swap. Jakiro able to provide that, AoE stun via Ice Path into the fights to hold them still, secure an Eclipse, secure, a boat setup, what have you. Treant also with a great AoE stun.
Plus, with the Kunkka, if he opts to go the kind of popular water perk build, that just adds another level of chaos and damage to the fight. Which you got these Moonglaives going around. You'd have Macropyres, Ice Path, Venge Suns bouncing around, Torrent Storm. And at the moment, 5 dicks, 1 urinal really don't have a lot of easy ways of disengaging from the fight.
No, they do have the Willow ult to the Terrorize to try to force the fear and run out. Similarly, you can defensively use the Treant ult. I do also want to point out, as I'm kind of adding things up here, every hero on Super Good Team has a ranged disable that could be used to interrupt Dismember, so
Dyer gets to
be
I
interesting.
thought you were
to
gonna
see.
say. They're gonna say that they're all blue.
Rico, this is why I draft for us. God damn it, man.
Deep analysis here, pattern recognition, thinking hard about it. They're just not some blue heroes,
They certainly have some blue heroes.
Banning time.
Be interesting to see if they'll follow your trend on this last pick here, or if they'll follow mine. Luna also building the Manta does make it so that Treant, Old, and Dark Willow walk down just doesn't feel quite as good.
10 seconds.
And so they don't have a ton of easy ways of hopping on or outside of a hook and Pudge ult. And as you identified earlier, there are a number of ways of interrupting that, even if she does get gone on.
I also think the Kunkka and the Venge set up good to interrupt the Dawnbreaker and her stuff, so if Dawn is present in a fight and tries to ult out, you can X marks her to bring her back. Similarly, swap, if she's trying to land on a target, you can displace that target with your swap so they don't receive the heal. Sniper pick, ugh.
Yeah, completely dismantled the team that you abandoned last week.
Yeah,
it was rough.
Well,
we had a first pick Dark Prophet or Death Prophet, and that lane did not go well. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, unfortunately, Super Good Team banned the Spec, which is a fantastic pickup here. Trying to think of what they have for gap close. They don't have the Void. Maybe something like a Slark or a Rookie to try to hunt down that sniper. I mean, the Venge can do it a little bit, and the Kunkka can, as we've seen, the typical Blade Mill Ag's Heart build can eventually run at sniper a little bit, but I'd like to see some better gap close out of Super Good Team for this last pick.
Well, it seems like 5 dicks 1 urinal think that Super Good Team's going for a mid here, so looking at what's still left in the pool, Quap, Void both taken out, so they were definitely thinking about the sniper pick early on.
They have a Storm player. I don't know Super Good Team that well, but
I know that 5 dicks does.
Storm is a very strong counter to sniper.
Mm-hmm.
Can probably kite around the rest of the team quite well. I mean, though there's a lot of lockdown on 5 dicks 1 urinal, it's not the instant disables that you're usually worried about. There we go. There's some gap close, and keeping in line with your theme, Rico.
I like it. Blue team looking strong. And of course, Juvu's got the Booby Luna set, so
of course,
gotta have it. All these thirsty Dota players here spending too much time inside, not touching grass.
Yeah, including my co-caster who pointed it out immediately. Could have commented on anything else about this draft. Blue heroes and Booby Luna.
See, I keep my eyes on the important parts.
Clearly.
I see the game in a way that nobody else does.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it, plays out. I mean, the Spirit Breaker, I feel like a lot of pressure is on him to close the gap on the sniper and to slow down the sniper's game. Interested to see how the mid matchup goes. Like I said, Schmooble, very strong Pudge player. These team fights are going to be huge.
If you think, looking at the draft, is there one team that you're sort of favoring right now?
I think it favors super good team from a draft perspective. Assuming all execution is equal. But I think that if there are some sloppy fights, it starts to favor 5 Dicks 1 Urinal a lot more.
Yeah, I think I'm a super good team on this one here. I mean, they do have a couple skill shots with, the ice paths and Kunkka boat, whatnot. But in general, it just looks like it's much easier for them to execute. And it looks like they're starting off with a smoke here, both teams.
Both teams. 2 ships passing in the night. Will we have a repeat of
each other?
Yeah. Will we have a repeat of last time where both teams just smoked opposite sides first 2 games?
Yep, looks like very popular move here. Even getting down that obs ward there on the top, which doesn't really give any vision. The top lane. So really committing to securing the runes up here, it looks like. Oh, and there's actually the mirrored ward down 5. So very similar ideas on how this first minute of the game goes.
Interesting that they put it low ground. I suppose that gives you a little more vision of couriers coming through.
I'm looking at some of these starting items here. We see 6 tangos and a blood grenade on mid Pudge.
Yeah, Schmooble, during one of his recent Pudge games, kept on ferrying himself mangoes rather than getting a mana regen item or a bottle. I'm curious to see if he does a similar build.
Yeah, and it looks like they have the Kunkka here instead of the Spirit Breaker.
Not sure if I've seen the Safi player before, so usually super good team, they're running the stack with their captain Tank, who I assume had a scheduling conflict, and that's why we're not seeing him in the draft, so not really sure what to expect out of their mid laner.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Tank, so a little sad not to see him playing here. In previous games where they've looked good, that's been kind of the linchpin that's pulled together. I remember one where he was playing Primal and just sort of ran the game over.
Kiro eating a lot of damage already. Lots of harass coming out from both the Willow and the Dawnbreaker.
But does have the pull camp warded here, so... But hasn't dewarded his own pull camp quite yet. Has a sentry available.
Has also been able to cleverly use Torrent to secure both range creeps early on here. Pudge very strong right clicker early on, difficult to out CS without the Tidebringer.
Yeah, I got a full 10 damage higher. Even with the Kunkka starting with double branches and a gauntlet and circlet.
Here goes down.
First blood. The Dawnbreaker is out of mana, so that's one sort of...
Yeah, no mana regen on her either. Mango coming out, Wand coming out, yep. Pudge, as we usually see Schmooble build, he's a big fan of Vanguard first item. Already got the Crow going out to the Secret Shot, likely to pick up the Ring of Regen.
Alright, everyone, stop talking about it.
Well, he'll just be able to sit with those 5 tangos and have them for fun. Ooh, a missed hook there. Oop. A little humor coming out, recognizes that Shouldn't be happening quite this early on.
Yep.
Gonna take a quick look at last hits and denies and see how things are going. Remarkably even across the board.
Yeah. Nearly identical, like a creep or two off for similar rolls here.
Yep, including denies. It's pretty remarkable, honestly.
Boys are all having some fun. Got some voice lines going.
Yeah, even the net worths are about the same. Looks like 5 dicks are a little bit ahead.
Charging on the sniper. Yeah, instant Nature's Grasp there to secure his retreat.
Do you think the sniper is going to be more and more in danger as this laning goes on? I mean, Tree feels pretty good with the Leech Seed that most people go for, but Sniper's just not a very tanky target. As Venge gets more points in the Magic Missile, that burst is really going to make that heal a lot worse. Oh, they're going on the Treant Protector bot.
Yeah, kind of chain their stuns together there. Got some good burst on him, but not enough to make a real difference.
But does show that you know, that maybe these heroes need to be a little wary on what happens, since there's no stuns in the spot lane. The Spirit Breaker can charge completely for free.
Looks like the Kunkka is also skipping out on Bottle.
So the Ben's getting shot by the sniper,
Yep.
standing
Take
his
aim,
ground.
bringing him low, charge
Nice
interrupts.
charge. We have 5 tangles on the Venge as well. I would like to see a couple salves maybe, but you know, not my game.
Nope, that's going to be a dead Venge, possibly a dead Spear Breaker as well. Nope, take him, ending, charging away. Yep.
But he just ate his last tango. Unless he has some more regen coming out, he's going to have to play pretty scared in this lane.
Hero pops. Luna squaring up on this Willow, pops a mango, pops her wand. Luna eating some right clicks from the Dawnbreaker while that's going on. Yeah.
Pudge now has the Vanguard completed as well. It's going to be much more difficult to get him, and sort of recognizing how strong he is. He just walks up to the Kunkka and starts slapping him in the face.
Blood Grenade on the Willow. Oh. Perfectly timed Shadow Realm to dodge the Luna right click coming out at her.
Oh, so
Pudge is
close,
now
walking away with
6.
40 damage.
I'd say 40 health even.
40 health.
Pat has asked in chat what we think of Willow support versus Willow core. I'll let you take the lead on that one.
Well, obviously, Willow Core is incredible if you have an ALK support to feed you an Ags, but we've been seeing a lot more Willow Core these days. I think, like, as a flex pick, it's definitely great to have, but a lot of... Oh, nice hook from the Pudge. We're going to hold that thought here. Willow and Pudge on the Kunkka. Throws out the boat,
but the
and he gets a
Kunkka
turnaround
cleans
kill.
it up.
Double.
The
That was
1v2,
massive.
the
That
1v3,
was so big.
and a
sort of
regen
as
rune
Victor
waiting
walks
for him.
away. Oh, and he gets that regen too. He's got to be feeling happy. Yeah, I wonder how much of that was also sort of the Lunar Blessing coming to play. With nighttime, you get that global effect. So an extra 15 damage, not too bad. But
Yep.
yeah, with the Dark Willow having as a core, you know, you get that sort of, what is it, deemed Exodia, where once you get a few items, your 6 slot there with the Arcane Core, the Ags, maybe a Spell Prism if you're real lucky. You're pretty unkillable. Hard to get to without a bunch of AoE spells. Now looking at this lineup, they do have AoE stuns as well as AoE damage with the Jakiro coming in, Wave of Terror, Spirit Breaker charges, Tidebringers, boats, torrents. So maybe not quite as good here. So it's possible they considered having the Willow as a core, but decided against it later on in the draft. But spells are still strong, and there's always the opportunity for her to transition too, depending on how the game goes.
Gonna kill bot. Venge unfortunately caught out. There's shrapnel on the sniper now as well. You know, just the slows of the Nature's Grasp and the shrapnel, and then the take aim goes off. Venge only sitting on 700 max HP. Rough lane to be in. Kunkka revealing himself bot?
Just sort of ran in there. I don't necessarily know what his plan was. Got spotted out pretty quick. Realizes that there's nothing for him there. TP's back mid. But does have the blade mail completed, which
Going on the Luna top.
Ooh.
Dropping low, maybe safe under tower. Tops are ults. Not
Oh,
really
pretty
doing
good.
much though. Gets caught in a bramble. Very unfortunate. Ooh, drops down to
Ooh.
28 HP there. Luna's
28
doing something.
damage even.
Luna is doing a build I really used to enjoy, the Mask of Madness early on the Luna. It really accelerates your early jungle farm. You can break it down into the Satanic later on, so I like to see it. I think this Luna's planning, you know, okay, I got pretty good CS in the lane, but I really want to like start accelerating that amount.
You can also get the butterfly after that too, which makes a pretty strong value. One build I've been seeing is doing Mask of Madness, building a Manta, so you get more farm push out creep waves, and then you just build into the Ags, and you hit this pretty
JM,
nasty
you got 3
timing.
heroes on you.
Got charge in 2 seconds.
No,
One.
with dismember there.
So-
Obliterated. You could look, it's kind of funny.
but
Oh.
making a lot of space for his team.
Radiant's middle tower is about to be a pile of
Sergeant
smoking
Sarcasm
rocks.
sitting in lane there, trying to get the Lotus, but having serious inventory management issues right now. Not quite sure why there's a Quelling Blade on the Venge. We do not... I guess maybe to clear out the trees for the Treant. Big fight happening top. The Kunkka went top to go on the Dawnbreaker. Kunkka cleans it up. Boat committed. Blade Mail already up on the Kunkka and sitting on almost 2,000 gold. Kunkka having a very healthy start. 5,600 net worth, second highest 3,800 on the Sniper. Kunkka really getting everything he want when... I mean, anytime you're laning in mid, if the enemy feeds you a double kill, it feels so good. And I think that's kind of the explosive start that has really enabled this Kunkka to get that kind of net worth and feel comfortable doing the things around the map that he's been doing.
Yeah, also showing sort of the power of this and why these kind of tanky mid laners are so popular. He had 2 heroes going on him, and they will stand there, throw his spells out, and just with that level advantage, good Tidebringer, was able to turn it around and making that gank feel really bad.
Sniper going for the Maelstrom first. Has Mjolnir queued up, but I saw this the other day where had the Mjolnir queued up and pivoted to the Hurricane Pike. I could see a similar thing where maybe finishes up the Maelstrom, and unless having the freest of games, ends up building the Hurricane Pike against the Spirit Breaker. Spirit Breaker taking a lot of damage. The Overgrowth comes out, yeah, and that's all it takes. Spirit Breaker a bit behind now. Your 3 position. 11 minutes in, only level 5 still. It's rough. They've got the Midas queued up. Try to catch up.
Hook on the Luna
Hook
top.
on the Luna.
Oh,
Ice Path
Ice
comes
Path
down
there,
too little
but
too
too
late.
late.
Hanging on by a breath.
Yeah, sort of seeing what this Pudge is doing, noticing that mid lane wasn't getting cut as much as he wanted. Boat coming on the Willow, stun there, Dawnbreaker ulti coming back. Hero backing up, getting the dual breath, hook out on the Dawnbreaker with the Terrorize. Very nice. But we see the
Charge into
Spirit
the
Breaker
Willow.
coming in.
No
Dash,
Shadow Realm to dodge that
ease.
with.
Very good identification there by a super good team. A lot of the big spells on the other team are down, playing around this cooldown, knowing they can get a freebie.
Kunkka sees the stacks. Are you going to take them? Oh, Kunkka. You got to take those, man. Granted,
Oh,
it's
he's-
only a double at each, but I think it's still worth taking.
They're making a play on the Pudge here, seeing that he doesn't have any mana.
Ooh.
Pudge is moving towards the Arcade Rune. Is that going to be enough?
Fortunately, the
Oh,
X
nice.
Torrent combo was missed there, so it's a botched fight. Good discipline on Dire for disengaging there.
As well as a nice Brambles coming in from the Willow.
Sniper only about 500 gold away from that Maelstrom. Certainly farming quite comfortably. The Luna has the Mask of Madness, queuing up a Dragonlance next.
No, we really saw how that Death top really slowed her farm. He's moving pretty quick. Well, what I was saying before is I would really want to see the Spirit Breaker leaving the bot lane. It didn't seem like he was getting a lot accomplished there while his team was making moves. Sort of got cement feet there. Looks like he's up top now. Hopefully he won't just be staying there trying to farm against the Dawnbreaker though.
Right. Luna does move bot, starts to farm the Radiant jungle a little bit. Venge now a 6 has both the defensive and or offensive swap available.
Tower is about to be a pile of smoking rocks.
Looks like they're closing out the jungle bot.
Dyer's scanning all over for enemies. I promise. Don't
Making
look
eyes at the
Raiders
bot tier
are
1 tower there.
getting obliterated. Okay.
Should go down
Yeah.
pretty easy. We got a
Onto
charge
the
on the
tree.
tree.
He's got several teammates nearby. Yeah,
look
not
now,
diving into
Radiant's
tier 2
bottom
though.
tower is
Understands the
getting
risk to
obliterated.
that. Though
You could look
Dyer
at
could be
that.
pushing this tower. Kunkka walks up, starts smacking it.
Looks like Radiant wants to defend. They're moving forward, and Dyer's not in position to take a fight here.
Oh. Jakiro colliding with a Willow.
Don't
Bramble
look now,
down.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Easy
Pudge
hug.
there with a Dismember.
Radiant's bottom is cashed in its brick.
But they
Alright.
do get the tier 1 tower bot. If they can get out here, they're probably going to be okay with that trade.
Both teams sitting dangerously close to each other, and they know that. Venge and Kunkka, I don't know if this is where you want to be going right now.
It's like the teams are just kind of going back to farming. We've been seeing a lot of these games going a lot later just with how scary high ground pushes are. And honestly, both teams have pretty good high ground defense here. You got the constant threat of the Pudge Hooks, Sniper, of course, Rambles. And then on the other side, you have Jakiro, Swaps, Boats. It's looking at these drafts sort of in that context, it feels like they both sort of do similar things here. So we might be sitting down for a long one. I hope you got your diaper on, Joe.
Oh, you know I'm always riding dirty. Yeah, this Luna's getting a very free game, similarly the Sniper, but actually if we look, despite 5Dix1 Urinal having a kill lead, the last hits denies tells a very different story. 89 last hits on the Sniper, 126 on the Luna. Just farming as freely as she wants. Going to pull up the graph here. Lots of action. Experience really starting to favor 5Dix1 Urinal. Well, I say really. We're 9% difference, but
Radiant's middle
gold
tower is about to
starting
be
to
a
favor
pile
the
of
Dire.
smoking rocks.
Win dead even, and while I'm looking at graphs, shit's happening.
What to say when you look at graphs, life happens.
Yeah.
Nice double kill there. Bringing the kill score almost even, and they get the free mid tower.
Yep.
That's it for Radiant's
Whenever you're playing
middle
against a Treant, you really got to make sure you're committing for these kinds of fights. Oh, we got the Luna ult on the Dawnbreaker.
Dawnbreaker.
X and a charge. That's dead on my Spirit Breaker. Takes a couple of creeps in the small camp as a consolation prize.
Yeah, it looked like the Dawnbreaker had popped her Blade Mail a bit early there. I mean, we saw the Luna holding onto her Eclipse, and then as soon as the Blade Mail was over on the Dawnbreaker, just pressed R, got all those hits in. Kunkka using X Torrent to sort of secure
Dyer's middle
the
tower
kill.
has taken one hell
And a
of
full
hit.
Ags completed. This is a incredibly farmed Kunkka. Ags, Blade Mail, part of the way towards a Black King bar as well.
If you're a fan of Radiant's top tower,
Things are looking pretty good for the Dire right now. They're sort of in exactly where they want to be.
Spirit Breaker seen by two heroes, a missed hook on a TPing Jakiro. Sniper is still hitting creeps. I feel like a seer. The sniper stopped building the Mjolnir and went for the Hurricane Pike instead. Like I said, very good against the Spirit Breaker. Good to have a little bit of movement and control against a team with so much control themselves. I'm glad the sniper went for something between and didn't just go for a farming item.
Now the problem is though, if he gets caught even just a little bit, it's probably going to be 100-0 with not a lot of other options outside of a good Pudge Hook.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. I mean, it's an option to cancel the charge, but like you're saying, I mean, there's only so much you can do to reposition yourself if you get swapped into a bad position.
And Dire's still
Smoke
holding
from
on to
Radiant?
all their tier 1 towers.
Fire sitting very close by in their jungle. Pudge
we got a
leading the
smoke play.
pack. Gonna run into the Jakiro momentarily.
And the
Venge
Venge
there
pops the
and
smoke.
Jakiro.
Huge ice
Water
path
park
microphire going into the boat. Massive stun. The water, seeing the water park coming in here. Hunter's got the blade mill turned on. Spirit breaker charge. Oh, and the ult. Pudge is running after the Kunkka.
Oh, what a hook.
Now I'm watching a
But he pays with it for his life. And that's going to be a full 5-man team wipe. Even the Kunkka died there. I think they're going to be very happy with how that
tower is
happened.
about to be a
Yeah, that
Might
was...
even get a tier 2 out of this with the Luna pushing here with the mask. She wasn't even at that fight.
No, she wasn't. Not a spell cast on her. Meanwhile, you know, yeah, like you said, we had the Solar Guardian used, the Overgrowth used, lots of stuff used, very much favoring Dire at this point. And then Kunkka fulfilled his role. You kind of go in, you water park, you do as much as you can. Unfortunately, got hooked at the end of that. Might have been able to survive otherwise, but I still think if you're Kunkka and you're dying in that fight, you're very happy.
I mean, looking at the damage numbers, the Kunkka did twice as much as anyone else in that fight. 4,000 damage.
Yeah, not a BKB to be seen on the side of Radiant. So this water park, when he's in favorable positions like that, where he's got a cluster of 5 Dicks, 1 Urinal standing together, I mean, that's just going to cause havoc in these team fights. Really
Joe,
challenging.
Imagine you're one of the 5 Dicks, right?
Mhm.
What's going through your mind here? How are you thinking that you're going to get back into this game here?
I think you need to do quick, clean pick-off. So at this point, I'm saying Sniper, go frig off and farm. Everyone else, like, let's smoke up. Let's get one clean pick with a Pudge hook, and then disengage. Let's smoke in another pick-off, and then disengage. I think you kite a little bit, and you wait for the BKBs, like I had mentioned, so that when you have these big engagements, you're not as worried about the macro pyre yet. You're not as worried about the water park. You can at least put yourself into a favorable positioning against so much magical CC to then be able to engage. Because I think right now, if you're 5 Dicks and you run into another 5v5 engagement, like, that could be the beginning of the end.
Dicks are going to get stomped.
Absolutely.
And Pudge here just finished up the Ag Scepter, which is going to greatly boost his damage. We hadn't seen another item come out since that Vanguard, which was around the 8-minute mark. So a lot of net worth finally starting to pay off. We'll see what kind of impact it'll have when they clash next. Going for the Tormentor Radiant side. A lot of these heroes getting low. Are they gonna make it?
Oh, no one had a Rico moment. They all lived.
Love to see it.
Luna, Manta, Mask of Madness, Dragonlance, she's quite farmed as well. She wasn't even in that last fight. And, I mean, look at the difference in last hits. Luna, 220 last hits. Sniper only sitting around 158.
In some ways, that's not too surprising, just based on...
Radiant TPing in. The Wave of Tear scouts them out. Water Park, Ghost Ship.
Big Dawn
All the
ulti.
ults out.
Oh,
Everything
here
all
comes
at
the Luna,
once.
the Macro Pyre. They're burning.
Oh,
The Sniper's still shooting. And he decides to die with his team. Only the Dark Willow getting out with less than 300 HP.
Yeah, I mean, lots of Radiant TP'd in behind the bot tier 2, and the Wave of Terror spotted that out. Kunkka just ran forward and X'd the first target he saw. I think maybe some of the TP cooldowns came back to bite 5 Dicks 1 Urinal there. I was thinking maybe they all wanted to hope to arrive to the team fight at the same time, but obviously going to be staggered by 2 and 3 seconds because of the, you know, all TPing into the same target. I wonder if they should have, you know, started at the tier 1 bot and then walked at them and then did what I said earlier, which is get a hook, get a clean pick off, and then disengage, and then maybe reset, see if you can do it if you're defending an objective like that.
Oh, Lena also got the shard here. I haven't had a lot of opportunities to see the impact of this, but it's going to reduce all damage he takes by 25%. Which is pretty nuts. 7 seconds of 25% damage reduction.
Yeah, well, I feel like she also hasn't been under threat in any of these fights yet. Already 1,800 gold towards whatever she decides to go for next.
And even if they do start hitting her with that Dragon Lance and with the Mantis style, she has almost 2,000 HP.
Yep. Dire going for Roche. And out. We'll see if Radiant's able to respond to this. They are smoked.
Yeah. Smoked and moving. They're going to have time. They're going to make it there. Well, Roche is actually dropping pretty fast. About 50% HP.
Rico, I've seen this before, and it doesn't feel good.
See, is Jakiro going to stand outside the pit and break the smoke?
He is.
Spots the Pudge. Returning. Smoke comes in. Backer fire. Ice path on 2.
Chuku gets the Aegis.
Massive. Oh, no. They're
Several
burning
heroes
down.
just sitting in the macro pyre, getting absolutely
Luna's
deleted.
manning up.
Aegis
He got the
down,
Aegis.
but that's it.
Oh, and the sniper gets caught too. Uses the Hurricane Pike, but did not get away from. And they lost nothing but the Aegis.
Not a thing.
And they know that Radiant doesn't have fort. They can just run down bot if they wanted.
I think it'd be smart to do so. I mean, they still have a lot of health. Spare the Kunkka. Kunkka with boots of travel now. Maybe an XTP back to base. Heal yourself up, Mr. Kunkka. Give yourself the chance to push high ground. Radiant's starting to respawn. They haven't been dead very long.
I think he heard you, Joe. Quick, in their comms.
I swear I'm streaming on a 2-minute delay. I swear.
Fun fact, Joe's actually Super Good Team's coach, and he's in the room with them right now.
Yeah, dude, why else do you think I abandoned you guys last week? Starting to prep my Mage League Season 2 team here for success.
Right. Full BKB completed on the Kunkka too. Just made that fight so easy. And Jakiro with that macro pyre, ice path, just completely ruined any opportunity. Stepping out of the pit like that. I saw him going for his courier, so maybe he was doing that heads up play, learned from some of the lips mistakes, or it could have just been a happy accident. Either way, 5 dicks did not come out ahead. Now with a 14 gold deficit.
14 whole gold.
14 gold.
Almost as much as 30 damage.
I feel like, I don't know if you're streaming in England or something, but my conversions are just a little off today.
Yeah, we've been hanging out with the Brits a little too much. Smoke up on Dire, but I feel like they've kind of already sequestered Radiant to their base. Would love to see this charge into the Dawn. As I was saying during the drafting phase, with Dawn you want to split and be away from your fights, but you are at risk of getting absolutely picked off like this. Only the Willow in vicinity.
Ooh.
Bash, the blade mill up.
She's not getting anywhere. This Spirit Breaker has ult. The rest of the team arrives, and it's a good Dawnbreaker. Much like the Kunkka, if the Spirit Breaker wants to top himself off, he can just TP home and charge back out.
Sure can.
For a little more farm.
Yeah, I do like, so the Spirit Breaker stopped building the Midas. Maybe realized that they've got this strong lead early on, went for Blade Mail into Octarine, now building the Ags on the Spirit Breaker.
Has Super Good Team won a series yet?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, I think the 5 dicks, 1 urinal is, their record in the league is pretty good at the moment.
They are undefeated, 3-0 currently. If only someone would stop them.
Only. Just give me a chance, coach. Put me
You
in.
had a chance!
I don't remember. I blacked it out.
Yeah, Schmooble hasn't been able to build an item in the last however many minutes ago it was you pinged out the Ags. Hunka working on a blink, more gap close, really wants to make sure he gets in towards that sniper. Radiant do have the advantage of tree sniper high ground and the Pudge. They are a very difficult team to fight high ground into. We'll see if there's the discipline needed on super good team to just kind of wait this one out. Unfortunately, I think you need to wait for next Aegis before you really try to take some buildings. Unless you want to go for the aggressive swap.
I'm looking at the items that Radiant has coming out. I mean, as you pointed out, Pudge doesn't really have anything available. We got a Yule's finished on the Dark Willow, which helps her land that stun more reliably. Echo Saber completed on the Dawnbreaker, and what was very surprising to me, we see a Lincoln Sphere being built on the Treant Protector. Do you want to explain that?
They're scared of the Spirit Breaker.
So how does this play into their gameplay? Do you think this tree is going to be trying to split the map, maybe cut some waves, and this a little more freedom to do that?
I think it's probably, if I'm speaking candidly, and sorry, Trian, if you watch this replay, but I think it's a little bit reflexive and not really what his team needs to win. I think it's a little too selfish, a little too defensive. I'd love to see like a Blink Dagger instead of this Lincoln Sphere. I'm not sure it's the right item choice. I suppose you can throw it on your sniper in the middle of team fights, but you know, he's still, what, like 2,500 gold away from that, not hitting any creeps, so coming in really late.
And even beyond that, like, I feel like you generally want these Lincoln Spheres for like really impactful like spells. Like you're thinking like Dooms, Duels, whereas here they have Venge Swap, Spirit Breaker Charge, Lucent Beam, X marks the spot. So it is going to make them a little more protected, but they still have so much AoE stun and fight disruption that the Lincoln Sphere is going to do nothing for besides give some stats. But he is doing a good job of keeping these towers healed up. What we're seeing, Dart is really choking them out, farming up the whole map, and
yeah, there's the hook. Venge has the Ags, but quickly deleted. I mean, the Brambles, the Dawnbreaker damage, and Pudge with that Ags draw, just able to kind of keep her up there.
I mean, that's 1,000 gold.
That it is. Sniper a little out of position here. Hunker reaching for the X.
Ooh, missed hook on the Luna, turning.
Pudge is caught out.
Get fire.
Water Park down. Big boat coming in.
Spirit Breaker getting low. Taken down by the sniper. See the Kunkka just running after the sniper here. Oh, hooked.
Ooh,
but doesn't X mark the spot. Torrent, Luna's.
The wave pulling the sniper back. Lots of buybacks on Radiant. 3 so far. Maybe 4.
They're going to pay off. They got the Luna and the Kunkka. 2 massive kills here.
Yep. Hero hopefully able to get out. Venge just respawning.
That is
taking
so
a nap
needed.
in base.
Really showing how dangerous it is to push high ground here. Just with those 3 kills. Let's look at the fight recap. Speed change, about the same, but we got some really needed levels on the Radiant. And they actually came out ahead by 3,000 gold. Even with 3 buybacks.
Yeah, ending some of those streaks on Dire. Does pull the net worth and experience and gold graph back a little bit, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to make a massive difference. Someone needs to DM Sergeant Sarcasm, tell them they're in the game here. They haven't left their base yet, and they've been respawned for a while. Tank, go get your mans. Damn, also respawn. The charge target, he's out.
You know, as a Spirit Breaker, you're like a shark. If you're not moving, you're dying.
Alright, Venge left base. Someone woke them up. Or they finished their pee, whatever it was.
Maybe they had to let the dog out.
True.
A lot of that gold went into the Dawnbreaker and has a full BKB completed. Sniper is starting to build up some of those damage items. Pudge has a Reaver set up. Do you think that's going to be building into a heart here? Yep, there's the recipe.
Mhm.
I don't know how much a heart's going to do in this situation.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm a fan of it either. Might have liked to have seen a blade mail in this mix as well. I mean, I feel like that's really the meta right now. You've got a tanky mid laner. You build blade mail, one of your big utility items, and then a heart. And you beat the shit out of the other mid who did the same thing.
And this Pudge is sitting on, I mean, when he's not around towers, a pretty low armor.
Sniper going for the MKB, trying to answer to the Luna, who has a butterfly. This Luna is ginormous.
And opted not to disassemble the Mask of Madness.
Not yet. Finishing up the Hurricane Pike. If I had to bet, I'd say Hurricane Pike Satanic, and then she A-clicks the enemy Ancient.
Yeah, but correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't Mask disassemble into Butterfly and Satanic?
Yes.
But I guess with the amount of gold she has, she doesn't care if she has to sell back a quarter staff.
I mean, effectively, you're losing 450 gold, right? And probably getting more than 450 gold, like you're saying, out of the farming.
With the attack speed and the movement speed.
Yep.
Jakiro, permanently planted in the Roche pit here. Still about
See a
another
smoke
30
play
seconds
by
on it.
Radiant.
Radiant's
Oh,
middle
but they've
tower
got
is
creeps
hanging
hitting
on
her
by a breath.
tower. Dire must know that something up is happening.
Maybe. Might be paying attention. Jakiro.
See a thing
Scouting
coming out.
Roche. Spirit Breaker
Breaker's gonna
charging,
break
blanking
it.
the smoke.
Oh.
Oh, the hook. The Dawnbreaker's in the way, though.
That's so unfortunate.
Yeah, Sniper team being back to farm.
Yeah,
Roche should be up
realizing it's
momentarily. Ooh, Jakiro left home, though. Oh, no. Did Dawn get...
She didn't TP out with her team.
Yeah, BKB TP. That's a really bad feeling on the Dawnbreaker. That was your 8-second BKB, and you just use it to BKB TP out.
And it's on a cooldown as well.
Where did the Spirit Breaker just start charging? Oh, maybe someone TP'd back into base. Roche is up, Luna scouting it out. This is what you needed to get high ground.
Hey, just some cheese. Can we do a Lotus check? Is there any sitting on them?
No, no one's been collecting them. Kunkka building a Lotus Orb, for what that counts.
Yeah, identifying that maybe Jolt is the only thing that can really mess him up here.
Well, I think it's nice against a Willow as well, where all of her disables are so choreographed, and you know, you can take off the whatchamacallit, the Curse Crown.
Yeah, does Willow have the? Oh, but she does have the Ag Shard, which once dispelled does create 4 brambles around him. Kind of pick your poison in that case. But still, just makes it up fully completed. And they know that Radiant doesn't have buyback on 3 of their big heroes.
Yeah, only 2 minutes left. We'll see if they've been keeping close count here, though.
No buyback on Dire either.
Okay, Xing the Luna, maybe trying to get her to do some slow siege, hook off target. Yeah, at the same time, we've got the living armor keeping this tower healthy. Ooh! I'll hook you, Pudge. Okay. I like what the Kunkka's doing there. The tidal wave to try to pull him low ground.
Yeah, very smart using the Wave of Terror to get that high ground vision.
Dire for Dire's bottom tower. Wow, that was unintentional.
Dawn from the other side of the world.
He is in trouble.
Saving that ult to join into the fight at an ideal time.
Ooh, you see
Hero
her
hooked
and the
for
swap.
the Venge. Awkward swap.
She got X back.
lots of hate going into just the Pudge. Survives through it. That heart actually doing work. Age is down. Luna coming back up. Luna does not have BKB on this respawn.
Able to
Die
get
back Pudge.
Not a betting man, unless it's basketball.
Fort up on Radiant. Are they going to keep pushing the issue though?
It looks like, I mean, Pudge just, or not Pudge, Kunkka X'd and went back home. They're gonna get this tower.
Yeah, and Luna, as soon as that tier 3 is gone, just eats barracks.
Sniper's caught here, team's making space. But the pushback, the sniper though is standing out there, completely untouched. Trying to shoot into the Luna as well, she does have the pike.
Yeah, Kunkka dies, but the Luna was able to take a full set of racks. I think you're okay with that death on your Kunkka. Unfortunately, this does put Super Good team in a situation where they're looking to wait like another 7 minutes or so, get another Roche before they might be ready to do that again. Unless they're able to catch Radiant out of position. I mean, Radiant, you've got the Sniper, you've got the Pudge, you've got the Treant, you've got just a really good high ground team in general. They're comfortable sitting in their base and farming safe areas around their side of the map.
And this lead has not grown in about 10 minutes, so usually in these situations you kind of want to see one team pull more and more ahead, building on that lead, choking out the other team, but that really hasn't been happening. I mean, these deaths have been really costly, and it's been long enough now that Radiant does have a lot of buybacks on their heroes.
Okay, and yeah, Treant throwing the Lincolns on the Sniper. MKB completed on Sniper as well. Buybacks back up on most of the team. Radiant Pudge 25 gold short, Treant 500 gold short. Yeah. This Luna though, almost a full 10,000 gold higher net worth than the Sniper on the opposite side.
Crazy, and does have that Satanic queued up now.
Yep.
Don't look
Could
now, but
pick up
Radiant's
the
bottom tower is getting obliterated.
Reaver and send that out to her. I'm not quite sure.
I'm feeling a bit impatient though. You've got to realize that even if they're hitting this tower with the tree armor, this type of tactic isn't going to do a whole lot. I almost feel like they should just throw the Jakiro out there.
Yeah, I'm also a little worried. So there is still, if I recall correctly, which don't quote me on this, but I think there is still like a weird interaction with Hook and its displacement and when it connects and when it pulls them in, that even if you X your Luna and she walks high ground, if you start pulling her back but there's a hook, I think the hook can take priority. So it's like she goes back to the X spot but the hook is still pulling her.
Well, maybe we'll have a chance to see it. Hopefully not if you're a super good team. I'm still going for the sort of chip damage while the Dawnbreaker is farming on the side.
Yeah, Spearbreaker kind of filling the same role as the Dawn right now, just contentedly hitting Ancients on the other side of the world. Yeah, tower keeps getting healed. Surprised we haven't seen a hook yet onto any of these targets. At this point, I might be asking my Pudge to also build, you know, or someone build. Ooh, Luna Mantis to get caught by the hook. She's got to pop that Satanic fast. The defensive swap. Very good.
DKB, use the Satanic, pull back HP.
I'd like to see her focus here and hit the towers a bit.
Taking out both supports, and the Luna ult finally comes out. Even with the DKB,
Rampage on the Luna.
You do see triple buyback here. And it seems like they're content with just leaving their Jakiro to die.
Unless, no, Shmooble hooks. You love to see them. That was an insane fight.
And that Kunkka's so scary. Just blinks in, waves them back, hits Torn Storm. What are you supposed to do?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even think of mentioning it at the beginning of the game. I talked about, you know, the swap and the hook being the displacement spells to watch, but the blink tidal wave just doing so much work.
Do you think this Kunkka's going to make it through next game?
I don't think so. And again, I don't know this player.
Oh,
That
bounty.
is a lot of bounty runes. Difference how many is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Was that 8?
It was those 8 bounty runes. I
How
couldn't
much
even
of a
find my
gold?
words.
8? That's so 8. They were 100 gold each. So 800 times 5. That's a lot of gold.
That's 4,000.
A lot of gold.
Yeah.
Well, that's one way to get that gold to you, I guess.
Arcane power.
Kunkka building refresher next. Not sure what he's going to swap out for it though. I feel like all these items have been pretty instrumental. Maybe the blade mail.
Pop his boots in his backpack. I mean, if he's fighting, he kind of stands there, right? Oh, what is he doing? He's just 1v5ing.
Yeah, he's playing with his food a little bit.
Just walks up, casts a couple spells with the arcade, and says, "See ya."
I think Roche should be coming up in the near future as well. Yeah, about a minute and a half left on Roshan.
This team wasn't anywhere close to them, and they were showing in the bot lane. He must be feeling himself.
Pudge being brought low ground. Luna pops the Satanic very early. I don't know if she's aware that she did it. Does not have enough mana for her ult. Still killing the Pudge and the Dawnbreaker regardless. Charge in, lands on the Treant. He's getting low. Down, has buyback. Swap on the sniper, brought him out of position here. That's going to be the sniper down. Yep, that's GG. Game 1 going to a super good team. Yeah.
Starting off real strong, and we don't see the buyback on the tree to give the rampage. So.
No. Well, Luna had her one.
Bad blood. It was a really clean game, a super good team.
Mm-hmm.
Really thought that tank was sort of their key player, but this stand-in's doing work as well.
Pardon me, stuffing some snacks in my mouth real quick. What a game though. You have an undefeated team going up against a victoryless team, and just
Very classic underdog story here.
I wonder if Safi has other heroes that he can perform at that level, because I think, like you're saying, the Kunkka gets banned, but do they let the Shmooble Pudge through? Does Shmooble get into a more favorable matchup?
Oh, would you want to pick Pudge again after that game?
I think that's something that they do.
So you think they're still going to believe in that pick, even though it didn't look very good?
I think they just might. I have the actual casting channel set up, by the way. If you want to join that one.
You don't want to be in It's Happening? I'm going to have to bop out partway through this game. Gonna go see some ladies.
Ooh.
That's a couple cousins touring around the U.S., I guess. That isn't too explicit for your channel.
No, that's totally fine. I should learn how to video edit so I can cut shit like this out.
Just the silence.
Yeah, I just needed like a moment to collect myself as well. I got some dry roasted sweet and spicy peanuts and I'm sipping on my water.
Just ran out of beer. Yeah, so many bounties. I don't think I've ever seen that many bounty runes in my life.
Are we live on Twitch?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll keep the, Never mind.
All good, dude. Did you get a chance to peep game 1?
Yeah, I was watching it with Tyler Griffin and Ted.
What'd you think?
I was impressed. I thought that in a lot of ways the I feel like Five Dicks had a better lineup, at least going into out of the draft. But yeah, it just seemed like I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Pudge Mid personally. I don't know if you guys ever have heard me say that before, but it's not my favorite. And yeah, the Luna got too big, and they had good kind of frontline for her, and she just started to chew through people. But going into it, I definitely thought Five Dicks had the better draft. So impressed to see super good team do it. They also did a really good job, like choosing when to go high ground. It seemed like they were pretty careful about that, making sure that they weren't making mistakes and needlessly losing stuff in their high ground push, which obviously is super dangerous right now.
That's that kind of ancient player analysis I was looking for.
Thanks. I'm taking my MMR to Archon for next season, so if any league admins are around, that's not true. I've just been playing really poorly recently. Go watch my competitive matches, and you'll see that that's the truth.
Nate, I was telling Rico I really need to learn how to video edit because we've just kind of been bullshitting and sitting here in silence between games.
Yeah,
It's hard,
be too
man.
bad if you're just like gonna cut, if you're just gonna cut
Gets to ban.
like chunks of time and not do like any actual real editing, right?
Yeah. Eventually I'll figure that out, but it's been baby steps. It was a lot just to figure out how to like
Dire
get
gets to
things
ban.
from Twitch into YouTube.
Ten seconds.
All right. Game 2, baby.
We're starting
Are
in
we gonna
5
see
seconds.
the
We'll figure it out.
the Kunkka ban
All
here.
right, Dyer
Yeah.
gets the ban.
Unsurprising.
Banning time.
I mean, we saw that
And
him running up
Jakiro.
to their high ground in the mid there by himself with his team showing on lane.
10
You
seconds.
just gotta ban him.
5 seconds. 4.
They banned the Jakiro as well.
Seconds. 5 seconds.
Like
Interesting that super good team banned out the Brewmaster. So I know Dasite plays a little bit of it, but their Brew spammer is Panda Man, who appears to not be in the stack tonight.
Dasite has a fair, like not a ton of games, but it's a fair amount of games and a fairly decent win rate on it. So
Mhm.
like, you know, if you Brew's someone you don't want to play against, then I think it makes sense to get that out of there, even with just Dasite. I mean, it's so strong right now.
Yeah, I think at our bracket, you know, even if it's not something that's like super meta, if you can like look at yourselves honestly and say like, dude, we suck against playing against Brewmaster,
Gets
like
the ban.
it's fine using a ban against it. OD ban, interesting.
I mean, so
10
recent
seconds.
last 8 weeks, so 2 months, Dasite has 62
5
Brew
seconds.
games, a 71% win rate.
Oh damn.
Yeah, and
Okay.
he's got all time. He has Brew as his most played hero, 204 games, 57.4% win rate. So like, I think it's definitely definitely scary. Obviously, Panda Man plays him a bit more, but
Radiant's
getting
up.
him out of there I think is safe, just because he's can really
Dyer's
mess
turn
with
to
your game plan.
I do want to comment on this OD ban, which I'm not sure we've seen super good team use it yet. I wonder if they were all fucking frantic between games, like we need to look up this Safi guy's Dota buff. What do we ban? Guy's nuts.
I think Venge feels weak right now. I know that they've nerfed it quite a bit. I've heard pro players talking about it being a bit weaker, and I don't know if it was just that Rico was playing it, but it felt weaker when we played it. Got him.
Damn, dude, who drafted that for Rico?
Ooh, yeah, that was me. Big mistake. Big mistake.
I think it's fine though. I think at our bracket, it's a stun. They kind of had this like global damage thing going on where you had the Luna aura, the Venge aura, which you know your Kunkka loves both of those. I think swap in a lot of situations can answer like how do we save a teammate in a fight and how do we start a fight.
Yeah, that's fair. As
So
long as you get levels. Obviously, if you get level starved, then it feels real bad, but
10 seconds.
that's probably true on most heroes.
yeah. Well, a super good
5
team had
seconds.
no issue getting a lot done that game, playing pretty high tempo as well, which was nice to see. I think in the game that they
Radiant
won
gets
against
the
Coop
ban.
Stack, they had a poor start and were able to start to turn around and ultimately led to the win. So it was nice to see them like take a good start and then transition that into a victory rather than it being like a fluke thing or you know winning off of the other team throwing or something like that.
Yeah.
We're 10
So
seconds out.
first, I
Plenty
want
of
to say I
time
love their
tell an
banner,
announcer you love 'em
their
if
flag,
that's what's
whatever.
in your heart.
Big fan.
Dyer gets
Yeah.
the ban.
And then I was also gonna say Tyler Egress, whatever you want to call him, was saying that he feels like super good team because they've played so few games together that you can really see like a progression in improvement.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as
10
they
seconds.
play more and more games together, they get more familiar with each other. The other thing that I think is interesting
5 seconds.
along that aspect is that like our stack and other stacks that play together a lot uh, do similar things well and similar things poorly, right? We all kind of develop together and learn the same lessons and make the same mistakes. Whereas a team of 5 people that have never played together or have played very little together, you kind of have the opportunity
All right,
to
Dyer's turn.
bounce ideas off of each other. You all come with different perspectives, different strengths and weaknesses, and you can kind of work together to, kind of take the best from everyone. And so I think that's a really cool aspect of a team that hasn't played together, as opposed to a team that has. Obviously, a team that has is maybe going to gel a little bit better, but you don't have that opportunity to learn as much from each other as you would playing with completely random team members. So definitely cool to see, the improvements they made already and kind of, where they're going to go with the league. They talked about that they're heavy support lineup, so some of those players get a little bit more comfortable playing more heavily core roles, that kind of stuff. And as they continue on, they gel more, and it should be cool to see how it all goes.
I think that's a little bit of an optimistic take. I think a little bit of it's also just, you're not jaded about what your teammates do in part as well. I agree with you. You have a lot more flexibility with a fresher stack, but I don't think it's all, they might not necessarily all be looking at each other's ideas equal, and they might just, be a little more cautious and reserved, but it can kind of go both ways. I think knowing what your teammates are going to do is a valuable in and of itself, and not really knowing what to expect and talking it through is also valuable in its own way.
And I guess maybe my perspective's coming a little bit from, like, I did Reddit Dota 2 League for a couple seasons, and a lot of times with that, you've got like a wide MMR spread. So I felt like I learned a lot from those, but part of that was because a lot of times I was playing with Immortal players, like, regularly, and so they were kind of coaching and teaching and that kind of stuff, so maybe there was some of that aspect, but there was definitely things I learned from even the lower MMR players just by being, observant of what they were, suggesting in games and stuff like that.
You see the CK coming out, which has been a very strong pick.
So strong.
Yeah, absolutely. I like it as well. The Warlock and the Treant slows are miserable to play into, and he's got the reality rift where it's like, I don't really care that I'm slowed. I'm all of a sudden on top of you.
Ooh, the Pangolier.
Yep.
We got slapped around real good by that, didn't we, Nate?
Yeah. Pangolier with a diffusal hurts really bad when you're a low mana hero.
10 seconds left.
One swashbuckle and your mana pool's gone, which is a lot of fun.
Also does very well into the CK. I think actually they picked the Pango when we had Venge CK.
Yeah. Yep.
So he just gets a Lotus Orb and sitting pretty good there.
Legion Commander.
Elite? Have we seen an LC in the league yet?
No, I don't think we
I
have.
don't think in the league. It's been being played mid in the pro scene a bit, I think.
Lena.
Schmooble's their mid player though, and he's probably playing that.
The Pango. Yeah, it's probably an offlane Legion.
They picked a Lena into an LC.
I don't particularly love a Legion, especially into like a Lich.
10 seconds out. Plenty of time.
Obviously, the Lich can frost shield whoever gets ulted by Legion, unless it's the Lich. And then
you
also
have the Venge swap.
The Venge swap. You've got the stuns. You've got Lich ult, which if anybody's helping the Legion kill whoever the Legion has ulted, the Lich ult is just gonna, kind of rampage through.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Lich, like, let's say this Legion, like, blinks Blade Mail duels anyone on super good team, don't you just throw down your Shard and your ult on top of them, have it bounce between the two, and...
Gotta remember that the LC will be popping Blade Mail too, so...
Yeah, but if you're Lich, do you care if you die, if you secure your teammate a duel win?
If they're able to pump out the damage fast enough, a lot of it is also going to depend on 5 dicks and how they follow it up, because the Pango can just move in with that swashbuckle diffusal in the mid game, and that's going to shred the Lena and the Venge.
But you have to remember that the Frost Shield is going to give 60% damage reduction to whoever's dueled, so that's just like, I mean, you can have a lot of burst and still not get through the shield. And then your spells are on cooldown because you just dumped all your spells into a shielded target. I mean, I know a lot of people really like Legion. Maybe Legion's not my play style so much, but I feel like it's not as strong right now as a lot of other offlaners. But
and even with the change to overwhelming odds, I don't know if that's enough to like
after the
5
CK
seconds.
has this
4,
like second
3,
item like
you go.
Armlet Manta, like are you even like killing those illusions with your overwhelming odds?
I mean,
No.
if they're fatal bonds, you definitely are.
True.
But the thing about CK is that even though fatal bonds is like great versus illusions, it means that you're not linking with other teammates because there's only so many targets you can link to.
Right.
And he
So-
does have that life steal too, which really mitigates a ton of that spread out damage.
Yeah, I think CK kind of shits on Legion in terms of physical damage at all points in the game. Like, I could also see a situation in which, like, a Legion, like, let's say Legion Blink duels the Lina, and CK is right there. I think the CK just kills the Legion.
Reality, stun.
Dyer's turn to pick.
Ursa, yeah, another hero you do not want to duel. So that
Mhm.
places it a CK3, which we've seen
CK
some
offlaner.
of, but I don't... Not...
I mean, the nice thing for this Pango, though, he's pretty much got a free game.
10 seconds. Cave Johnson.
I'd honestly
do you
like to
figure?
see
We're
this.
starting.
So once the Pango gets, he's ulted, for instance, they have swap, and that's pretty much it. Or once it gets to Lincolns, this is a very similar lineup that they played against us with the Weaver and the Pango into the Venge CK. We had a couple different heroes, but I feel like had very similar issues with lockdown and how to initiate. We had a Dawnbreaker.
I feel like it's a really sad Weaver this game.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
CK
picking a Weaver into CK, Lich, Venge, Lina. They all have a disable for you, and then you combine that with an Ursa that's just gonna rip you open.
I blame you guys for giving them the false sense of confidence in the Weaver pick by losing to Weaver with Venge CK.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, we'll
maybe.
see if they buy Dust. I think that'll be the big game changer here.
I mean, and like you're talking about this Pango going uncontested, but like Lina builds Yules often, and we've got like Lich and Venge are both probably going to want to build Force Staff of this game. Like that Pango's going to be chasing people in the Rolling Thunder. Like I don't see many situations in which you get your ult off freely and just run through the whole team unless they're like really out of position. I think early on maybe you can get a few of those off, but like I think as long as we're getting good item builds on super good team, they'll be able to kite around a lot of the Rolling Thunder.
I'm hoping we see a little bit less of a carry build out of the CK. Like maybe skip the armlet and go like a, I don't know, Echo into Heart, into
Remember,
Blink
it's
or something
all
like
on you
that.
here. A lot of pressure.
It's kind of what they've been doing with offlaners right now, right? You do like one item into Heart,
All right, let's go.
and then initiation with a Blink or a Harpoon or whatever. You just tank for the whole fight. And the Heart's going to increase his damage too, but it'll just make him like nearly impossible to kill, so you can get in there and kind of tank things for the Ursa.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of this comes down to item timings ultimately, right? Like if they're able to get some of these Lincoln spheres up on 5x1 Urinal, it's going to be pretty tough to like lock down the Pango if he still has Swashbuckle to get out defensively, or the Weaver can Sakuchi. But if super good team's able to kind of roll the game earlier and they're not able to get those damage items to burst through the CK or the Ursa or the Lich Frost Armor, they're gonna have a tough time.
You need to go tanky on Radiant, right? Because they've got bonds plus tree, and so you kind of are going to get quite a bit of damage coming into you from the AoE of the fatal bonds. When you combine that with tree ult, you almost have to like be able to withstand the first 6 seconds of them doing whatever they want to you.
Smash it to bits in front of them.
So I'd like to see BKBs, I'd like to see parts, and overall just more survivability items out of.
Do you see this aggressive ward behind the Dire tier 1?
Yeah, so when they smoked and they wrapped through the triangle, they were able to throw that one down. It was pretty slick.
Pretty nice ward to have. It doesn't give you any rune vision, but you're able to see a lot of other things coming in.
I also think Pango kind of gets shit on in this mid matchup. Lina is a very strong mid laner, incredible damage.
Alina hasn't been quite in the meta as much, so I don't think we've seen her. So even though Pango's been like first pick, first ban for a while, but
Blood grenade
wanna
onto the
explain a little
warlock.
bit?
Ursa just running at the warlock, stacking up. Yeah. Ursa getting low, but still turning around and smacks the Legion a few times.
3 stacks on the LC.
What do you even get from the mid lane ward? I mean, it's cheeky, but what does it give you as Alina? It doesn't even give you high ground vision. I mean, it does.
Yes, it
but, like,
does.
If he's on like the lip of the high ground, you can't see that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, maybe worried about TPs in behind or something, or
Yeah.
some sort of wrapping.
A lot of times you see this kind of like ward vision because somebody wants to like a Nature's Prophet or a bounty hunter, and they're going to come like hunt crows, but they don't really have anybody to do that.
My thought process is maybe they were going to try and do a fight on in Dire Triangle, but decided to back
Okay,
off.
maybe.
As good of a start as Juvu had there, eating that early Fatal's Bonds brought his health way down. Got another one going here. Low HP down to just 1 tangle left. Rough situation to be in. Maybe we'll see something like a Morbid Mask coming out earlier on him just to secure the farm.
TK dies top.
Interesting.
Got ran down by the Weaver in the tree. I don't think that's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
We'll see how this CK Venge lane goes. Getting flashbacks, Nate.
Different lane.
Different lane. He's got stun. Things are good.
Yeah, it was a I think it was a 1 and 5 CK Venge. Now it's a 3 and 4, so we'll see. Maybe that makes a difference. Mike,
Yeah,
if you're
Ursa's-
watching this broadcast, you notice how Warlock's using Fatal Bonds all the time?
Yeah, Ursa has a kill and 5 CS at the 3-minute mark.
I wonder what the
It's a little
Weaver's
left there.
400 gold ahead.
Yep.
Gonna be some experience ahead too, just from the difference in last hits.
Both mid
Going
laners.
back
Go
to
ahead,
this mid
Rico.
matchup for a second, can you explain a little bit why you think Lena is going to be working so well into Pango? I mean, I know that she does have the long range. She has a spell she can spam out, but is there anything else that makes this particularly different or more difficult for the Pango?
Well, I feel so when you swashbuckle, you kind of telegraph where you're landing as well, and so you can set up an LSA if she's fast. Which after last game, I can confirm this player is pretty fast. Get a kill on the Warlock bot. I'm so interested in this mid matchup. Yeah, it's like, you know, with the Pango, I mean, you can do your shield crash, but she still eats through that so fast. I mean, it's just like this massive damage output difference between the two heroes. Ursa goes down again. Again? First time.
Does have the Battle Fury queued up.
Yeah, I might have liked to have seen like more mask for a little more like lane sustain here. I mean, there is a lot of magic damage coming out because of that fatal bond we had mentioned earlier. Yeah, he come back to lane. It's got fatal bonds on him at full HP now, but I'm just curious to kind of run the numbers here, see where his HP is at the end of this.
I mean, Morbid Mask, as opposed to like a Cornucopia, 5 HP regen is pretty nice. It's not going to give you as much as the Morbid Mask, but
That thing is standing on its last breath.
at least then you're building into a Battle Fury, and that's what he wants to do. I feel like that's probably enough sustain.
Dire's middle tower is
I'm just trying to watch mid lane. Can you guys stop getting so many kills in the side lanes? This is crazy.
Money to burn.
You gotta kill mid. What happened to the Pango?
I mean, look at the last hit difference between the Pango and the Lina. I think that's
Yeah.
just because the Pango like feels like he can't approach the lane unless he has like shield crash, and so you're just seeing the Lina way outpace the Pango as far as last hits is concerned.
There's one for phase boost instead of the cornucopia. He had enough to buy it. Looking like he wants to get aggressive on this lane.
CK needs to bring more regen out. He's sitting super low. He can't do anything in the lane. Something I've been working on recently is focusing on really trying to be okay with bringing more regen. A lot of pro matches I watch, the players are like, more tangos, more salves. Just like spend the money so you can be in lane actually doing something rather than just hiding all the time.
That's the fight, Nate. Me too. That's what I've been doing. Buying like 3 stacks of tangos, a salve, 2 clarities. Like, I don't need boots. Need to be able to stand in the wave and slap the enemy with full HP.
Yeah, for real.
Precious bounty.
Yeah, Pango's still not level 6. Lina level 7. Killed the Pango before she even had Laguna Blade as well. Yeah, Pango missing some spells. I think this Pango was a little shook. I feel like Shmooble's won all of his mid matchups across Mage League. Maybe coming into a strong mid laner doesn't quite know what to do. Not as familiar with playing from behind.
Also, maybe not used to the matchup. I know that I played into the new Lina versus you actually, Joe, and
Weaver
I was
pops
shocked.
so fast. The Reality Rift like Wave of Terror just like absolutely pumping out damage.
Yeah, double stuns. Crushing
First time I laned into Lina, I was shocked at how much damage she does down. So
Yeah, she's rotating bot. They do have the...
Oh, the Warlock's going down here. Easy. Pango. Use an ult. Trying to get on the Ursa.
Yeah, should be enough to kill the Ursa. Yep.
Taken too soon.
Lina came bot invis, but was scouted out by the sentry ward a little further. It's so unfortunate. If you look at the radius of those 2 sentries, they're like a kiss away from each other's range.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and the Lich finds it. He's like, hey, something's up here.
Yeah. Probably pinged out by the Lina. Yeah, Lina 48 and 10 to Pango's 27 and 1. Really dominant lead out of this Lina. Curious to see how she builds. Going for the Aether first. Stun onto the tree. Backing up when the swarm comes out though.
Looks like Dyer's top tower is in some
So
trouble.
there's already 1,500 gold up against the enemy mid laner. At 8 minutes, that's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, getting solo killed in the mid lane, it just gets so punished these days. I think that's why we see this like surgence of these big beefy boys being sent mid, because it's like you have to do something really egregious to die when you've got like 2,000 HP at the 5-minute mark, right?
Yeah.
Pumping a little bit of damage into the tree top. Zen pretty low on mana, and with a dead courier, doesn't look like he's going to have any coming out soon. Lina up top here. Laguna Blade on the Weaver, taking him down.
Barely gets that Weaver.
Tower is hanging on by a brick.
Still not level 6, so no time lapse available, and easily right click down on the tree.
Killing spree.
Legion level 6, 9 minutes in.
Dyer's top
I
tower
think you want to start winning some duels. I mean, some of my most painful games of Dota are when I play Legion, I just can't get duel wins anywhere around the map. So curious to see if they transition Dr. Spooky Bones out there. Get him active.
Funny, that's
But the
every
question is, like, they don't have a lot of great bursts to pair up with this LC. I mean, if they were playing with the Lich or with the Lina or the Ursa even,
Hope Dyer's
then it'd be
middle
kind of
tower
easy.
is
But I
under
feel like a
attack.
lot of the damage on 5 picks is pretty slow. Then you got the Fatal Bonds, Pango, Weaver sort of pokes at you. Maybe they all need to buy some Dagons and just group up around this LC.
Yeah, that's 5 Dagons, 1 Urinal, who will be their team name after this one.
Duel on the Ursa here. Pango roll, gets hit. We saw the frost armor, but still taken down. It looks like the LC. Or the Lich is going down as well.
Tell Dyer's middle
Poor
Nice
Heroes
trade.
bot. You love to see it. Got the dual damage. Starting to get some kills. Pango feeling pretty oppressed here. Trying to rotate around the map and do things. I think that's a good thing. And Lina not really close to having this mid-tier 1. So pretty smart play out of 5D1U.
Radiant's bottom tower is getting obliterated. Okay, fine, you can look. It's kind of funny. Dyer's middle tower is taking one hell of a beating.
CK walks up, slaps the
Radiant's
Weaver.
sturdy bottom tower was built to withstand
Little
the
reminder,
Dire's
like, hey,
middle
I'm
tower
here.
is in trouble from the way it's being
CK
destroyed,
built
as I
infused
see.
raindrops. Not quite sure what those are for. Maybe the overwhelming odds?
Sakuchi.
Maybe Sakuchi?
Dire's middle
Sakuchi
tower is
just-
taking one hell of a beating.
Is that enough damage to proc it? Yes, it is. It's
No, it's
barely though.
Sakuchi is a lot of damage.
Dire's middle
160?
tower has kicked the
Yeah.
concrete
But it's on such a low cooldown, and the
Dire's
mana cost
courier
is
just
super low as
broke
well.
Regeneration.
I mean, I almost feel like it's probably worth just getting more bracers or something so you lifesteal a bit more. But he only has one level in the Chaos Strike.
Yeah, it's an interesting build. I can't say I've played Chaos as 3 recently.
If you're in the vicinity
Trying to
of
go
Dire's
on the
top tower,
Treant.
I
Oh,
think
Reality Rift animation canceled twice because of the range difference. Lina also top. We'll probably see them start to push her this tier 1 tower. Doesn't look like Dire's making a rotation to make it happen. Legion coming through portal, actually. They might be trying to get together and do something. Maybe catch someone out of position.
LC is so close
Pings
to the
the
blink.
LC.
Dire's top tower is really taking a beating.
LC is running up ahead. Dr. Spooky Bones, and there comes the hate. But Mango's coming in with the roll.
Everyone's failed
Bouncing around.
bonds.
The Leela is low. This would be a huge kill if they're able to get it. The Weaver's committing. Oh,
Yep, she drops.
massive.
Dire's top tower is really taking a beating.
CK's just running ham, but where's your team? They're all dead.
Belly up.
Yep, tower down. Ursa's farming.
Radiant's throwing all they've got at Dire's bottom tower.
Man, even after that fight, the Dire have so much net, or the Radiant have so much net worth in their cores.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like the Warlock got a ton of gold from that fight. I don't know who got the kills, but like the Warlock has like as much farm as their mid laner does, which feels bad, man.
Looks like the
I think I
Dire figured
would
out
have
where
preferred
Radiant's
seeing
top tower
Ursa try to complement the early game tempo that his team has by going Diffusal first. Instead, oh, we gotta fight CK onto the Pango. Pango maybe just barely able to get out of position here. We have Venge swap ready. Are we gonna see it used? Lina dies somewhere.
You covered in blood, big smile on your big dumb
How
face.
did that happen?
Oh, this is okay.
The Warlock killed her? Must have been Bonds, right? I mean, that's the only thing that makes
Yeah.
sense.
I don't even know where she was.
Radiant's middle
Well,
tower is
some
hanging on by
signs
a
of
thread.
life coming out of 5 dicks.
Yep. We were able to get well. In the end, it still favors
Pile of smoking
super
rock.
good team.
The Warlock soloed her. She's got 1,000. She only got 1,000 health, and Warlock did like 850 damage to her between bonds and right clicks and.
Wow.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And that is a
feels
very
real
wealthy warlock.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Lina.
Look at the CK. He got the armlet finished up, but now has the blink queued, so. I mean, pretty tanky, but we do have the blade mill and the LC and halfway towards blink, so a couple
Don't look
options
down,
opening
but
up for both
Radiant's
teams
bottom
here.
tower is getting obliterated.
I don't know if I like Blink on CK right now. I mean, you have Reality Rift. If you had put more levels into it, I mean, you're able to start fights that way. I mean, Radiant have a lot of ways to start fight, and that kind of brings up another point I wanted to talk about, which, like, if you're Dire, how do you start fights? Like, we saw that fight near the tier 1 when it fell, where the Legion just ran at them to try to initiate the fight, and she got chain stunned and blown up before she was able to do anything of value in the team fight. I mean, maybe you get the blink up on your
Things are
Treant
looking dire
in the
for
near
Dire's
future
bottom
here,
tower.
but it's...
That was unintentional. Forget I said that. Their bottom tower
if you're
is in trouble.
5v1u, I think you have a serious fight starting problem.
Well, in like, speaking of, ooh, there's Rico. He's gone. We've got
Bye,
Coop
Rico.
here with us. Like, what I wonder about the CK is like, who are you blinking on? Seems like all the people that you'd want to be on are coming to you anyways.
Yeah, that's the other
Radiant
thing.
scanning for enemies.
I'm not a fan of the item. I've seen another player in the league build Blink on CK recently as well. I don't think it's a great pickup. Lina trying to run up on this Treant Protector, doesn't have the Yules for setup.
Going Aether Boots Ags. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of Lena Ags, but I also haven't played it myself, so I guess the proof will be in the pudding.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some people go it seems somewhat strong. The question is whether or not it's stronger than the fight's happening.
Oh, wow. The Bonds and the Warlock
man.
ult. Radiant just get deleted. Talk about being served 4 kills on a silver platter. Good lord.
Holy crap. Yeah, well, what I was saying about Lena is like, it feels like it's strong. The magic resist, spell amp, the ability to go unobstructed movement. So you've got that flying, you can go over cliffs and whatever else. And then you combine that with getting the max stacks. It feels really strong, but I don't know if I mean, it's 4,200 gold. Maybe it's better spent elsewhere, right?
Pardon my eating, but that's what I feel.
I'm back.
You're eating.
Yeah, I like the Yules for the setup for the guaranteed LSA.
Yeah. Well, no, Yule's is 1,600 gold less than it.
Gives you more mana regen as well. Gives you some defense as well. Gives you the ability to remove fatal bonds as well.
Legion and Weaver get a dual kill on Lena mid. And then the battle up top, looks like just the tree fell. Everybody else is going to get out.
Man, this Lena has fallen off.
Radiant's middle tower is hanging on by a brick.
Yeah. She's been trying to fight though, and the fights have been
Things are looking dire. Dyer's bottom
pretty
tower.
bad for the Radiant
Weaver
team.
forgot a tier 2 token.
I think they are also heavily invested in this Ursa coming online, which I made the comment earlier. I think I would have preferred seeing Ursa go for like a defusal first, something like that, join a few more of these team fights. I think they've kind of like narrowed their path to victory by putting the Ursa in this position where it's like, all right, dude, you go farm, we'll for fight. And we've kind of seen how that's gone for super good team. It not well.
Well, and fighting down a man feels bad, especially into that Warlock Fatal Bonds, the Tree ult. They've just got a bit stronger of a team fight. And so when they're showing up as 5 and you're showing up as 4, and they've already got stronger team fight than you do, it's pretty rough.
It does make sure that the Ursa can scale into the late game. And once he gets a couple of these items, like he's got the Blink almost finished, the Basher, it's going to be a little rough for the other side. I mean, he's going to be able to blow up a lot of these heroes. And if he's blinking on them, bashing them down, there's a ton of follow-up with the rest of this team.
Lena dueled, instantly paused.
No swap. No stuns.
So 5D1 you did do a scan near the Radiant secret shop. Knew that the supports were sitting nearby. I was thinking Shmooble misplayed there by diving so deep with that swashbuckle, but we kind of saw a similar thing happen at the fight where they got the 4 of them died, where they noticed someone on 5D1U and then they throw all their CC on the first target that they see. So I'd like to see Super Good Team maybe play a little more reserved with their spells moving forward. Because right now it's like everything comes out at once. Pat also mentions, yeah, Lincoln's on Lena. I think that's against the Legion, who's already proven she's going to be so much of an issue. I think that's a really good call as well.
Yeah, and her game, though, is just slowed down so much. Has been struggling to get another piece of this Ags for the last 5 minutes.
Venge keep warding where the enemy just was. Venge, this isn't where you want to be, dude.
Ooh. A duel, 94 damage. Feels good. Hyperstone. Well, things are getting out of hand.
Oh, was Risky saying that it was a bad ward mid? Is he agreeing with me way back when? I hope so.
Oh, looks like we got Cooper hiding in here, but he's muted and deafened, so not sure.
Basketball,
Maybe just wants
football,
some company.
PlayStation, Rugby, cricket, or curling. But if I was, I'd bet on Radiant's
Okay.
top tower.
I'm reading the chat now, and apparently Risky's being real toxic, so I take back.
Ursa,
Ursa
really taking
making a
Roche as
rush
he
play
does.
here.
Ursa can take Roche fast. Is that a thing?
You wouldn't guess
Yeah.
Radiant is a hell of a cook.
Has a blink completed. Aegis.
Did go back for lifesteal, which I do like. Going for the Basher next. A solid pick off. Pick up, sorry. Which I like too, because I'm a little worried for this Ursa. Like, again, you've been investing a lot in this Ursa. And, like, you can't really just, like, kill a Weaver. You can't really just kill a Pango.
Dyer's bottom tower
Oh God!
There's the duel.
Yeah, even without frost armor, the Elsie does not care.
on a Radiant's bottom tower.
Ursa's in. Ooh, there's the ult. It's not up in 2.
Bit of a
Let's see
disjointed
how the rest of
fight.
these spells are. Oh, they're all so low.
Aegis pop.
And this Warlock's
CK going
just
down.
killing the Shadow Amulet. No cares in the world.
Soup doing a lot.
If I was, I'd bet on Radiant's top tower
I
coming down.
have a next level item build for Ursa. Imagine if instead of going Battle Fury Blink, the Ursa went
Forget I said that.
What's it
Their
called?
bottom tower is in trouble.
The mana burn item. Why can't I think of what it's called? right now?
Diffusal that I had
You
mentioned
go
earlier.
into Disperser, and you use that to get around in fights because it lets you move so fast. And then it also will purge Tree Ult and Bonds off of you.
I think you go for the shard instead to answer the need for dispel. I think that's a much more financially responsible way of getting the self dispel.
Nut dog. Disperser. You heard it here first. Next level Ursa build.
Yeah. Well, last time I saw you on a disperser, it was you're playing Sniper 1 from the off lane.
I'm pretty sure we won that game.
Now back to the game. We see people running back at the Ursa. Got a
Yeah,
duel
that's a
on
dead
him. You won't be able to
Pango
get his ult on.
out of position. Didn't have his team nearby.
Pango, but they got the Ursa in the top lane.
Yep. Another
Cooper
duel
messaged
victory.
me asking if I could stream the game in real time so we could watch it and maybe provide some commentary. But we're firm with the 2-minute delay.
All right.
Right, just got me.
Regardless, yeah, I've got it up. Welcome to the
Joe's
cast.
got
Scoop.
it up for you.
150 duel up on this Legion already. That's a problem.
You know, and that's kind of one of the win conditions, I think. 5d1 you have is just get a Legion who can kill any hero on Radiant to start any fight. And it's happening so fast too. I mean, we saw the like duel on the Legion in the Radiant jungle where there was a Venge and a Lich right next to her. And even with like the swap and the frost armor available, wasn't able to make a difference. Yeah, Venge dead in like 2 seconds there.
Who wins? A Legion with like 500 dual damage or a farmed Ursa? Does Legion win that? The farmed Ursa does. Yeah, it feels like Ursa can still deal with that, but obviously, you know, Legion's just gonna rip apart everybody else on the team.
I gotta get the bashes in early. If Ursa has Ags, can he use his ult during duel?
Ken? I don't think so. Maybe.
Radiant does not like Dyer's bottom
Allows it
tower.
to use Enrage while disabled.
Stable.
Yeah, I guess the taunt
Dyer
is
is kicking
stable.
sweet hell out of Radiant's
I thought you were an Ursa specialist.
It's been a while. I never really played it since it was like the Ag build. Ever since Ursa became a Battle Fury hero, he's kind of lame now.
Yeah, I was actually commenting earlier, Coop, that like I think because Radiant had like a really good start, I would have probably preferred a Diffusal to like join in on some of these early team fights and be able to like slow down the Pango and the Weaver.
Yeah, I think it's, you know, Ursa's not really in the meta right now, and that's usually time to look back at older builds that used to work. And I mean, it's a long patch, you know, in terms of game time, so Battle Fury is nice, but if you can get the momentum, I was even thinking, like, what about like Diffusal and then Midas or something? And it's, something to bring Ursa back in the meta.
Elsie's hunting.
Ursa
Oh,
unpicked
yeah.
at TI currently, is by the way.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like this whole power trade is still
Cooper, do you know why Ursa isn't being picked when sort of the meta are these really tanky heart builders?
Ursa goes in.
Pops the ult. Rage.
Team not really there though to back him up. Yeah. As soon as that enrage is down, he pops so fast.
I just feel like Ursa needs too many items to play this game. Like, he needs a Lincolns, he needs a BKB, he's not gonna do any damage. He's gonna get tree ulted. I guess he could get away with no BKB if he gets Ags, but...
Or a disperser.
Disperser.
No.
You need to get him,
Nay.
like, you need to meme the fucking Wind Waker, Octarine, Ags shit. But it's just gonna take too long.
You know what? The Pango and the Weaver are feeling so safe they don't even go for the Lincolns this game. This is sort of the thing I was worried about. They're just able to run around and not get locked down.
Radiant's bottom tower
Yeah.
is getting obliterated.
Not a defensive item being built on either of them. Feels pretty free for them. CK, Blink Armlet going for BKB next. Lina finished her Ags and had it for that last fight, and she was able to come over the cliffs and land an LSA, but I'm really not sure that's the item that's providing the value that you want in this game.
Don't look now, but Radiant's
What does
bottom
Radiant
tower
need to do to get back in then? Oh, CK going in. Holds in the Weaver. Under vision. Time lapse.
Mango down.
This is an early time lapse.
Oh, but it doesn't get punished for it. That's the team that have stuns available.
Ursa still
That's
chasing, bashing.
He should be able to ult to make a play this here.
That
So,
Radiant's coming down.
yeah,
Blink on the CK, and they still got some chase going on. It shows,
in addition.
wow. When the tide starts turning with the Blink on the Ursa and on the CK, movement speed, and Melina, they have a lot of chase down. Even Benj building drums, knowing that they need to run after these mobile heroes.
Yeah, I think to answer your question, I think that's how you claw your way back into this if you're a super good team. Like a clean pick or two, and then like reassess the situation. I don't think you want the big 5-on-5 team fights. We've seen the absolute work this Warlock has been doing.
Things are looking dire for Dire's bottom
Yeah,
tower.
just
Dire's
slowly
bottom
take some
tower
objectives, take some pickoffs here and there, and
is in trouble.
come back a few items later. Maybe you're ready to team fight at that point. Get some BKBs or something
Man,
like that
Radiant does not
online.
like Dire's bottom tower, and it shows.
Going
Tormentor.
Tormentor
But your team
time.
is kind of low now. Pango started up his Rolling Thunder there. I think he would have been happily surprised if he had
Radiant's
actually
courier has
committed
made
with it.
one last run.
Yeah, and they get away with just taking that. That's gotta feel good.
Seems like such a risky play though, going into a tormentor that just got taken down. Like sure they maybe are low, but they're not. You're just dead.
Oh yeah. I mean, if they had some vision up though,
Yeah.
Yeah, his team wasn't far away. I'm not saying he should have done it. I'm saying if he did do it, he wouldn't have necessarily instantly been deleted. Tier 3
Glenn would
neutral.
have done it.
Legion picks it up.
Just keep these away. Oh, so they're missing an item now, eh?
Sure are. Yeah.
I mean, if you look at Joe, look down at Radiant Fountain. See that tier 2 token?
Yep.
That's from the Weaver earlier.
Yeah, I think I had caught that on ops.
They, just paying it back.
They're even now, right? Lina, a
That's an
little far
interest on it.
forward here. Legion runs in, blink, blade mail, doesn't find him. Lina
Is that
is
mechanic
building the
still-
Lincolns. She heard me.
Is that blink mechanic still in the game? Where if you blink over the distance, then you go shorter.
A
than you...
reduced distance? No, I think they got rid of that a few years ago.
That's still in the
Okay.
game.
Is it still in the game?
Dire's
Got it.
scanning all
It's
over
still
for
there.
enemies.
I know because I always hit it.
Will get more
Count the units.
Us quick casters have to use the force. So we don't.
Ursa pushing in tier 2 by himself?
That's the goofies. He's got Blink Up, Rolling Thunder. He's just running straight down. Pango takes a sharp turn south and misses him. Everyone going after this Ursa.
I mean, he had no business
Is this what Sunspan was about?
hitting that tier 2 by himself. None of his team anywhere nearby, and just gets away with it.
Forces the entire team to TP, forces out some big ults. They assume he's going into the jungles or juking, but nope, he just runs in a straight line.
This is a good example of kind of like, you know, map movement. You know, you see the Ursa showing top. He doesn't have any business being there, right? But it's like, just go bottom. And don't chase him across the map. Because what, you know, what Dire needs right now is they just need a Legion clean duel on Lina. He's going to get the Ag so that they can't get swapped out.
Force is about to collide. Yeah, there's the very clean duel win.
The Ursa's top, right? He's nowhere near his team. Go bottom.
Forget I said that. Their bottom
Forget
tower
about him.
is in trouble, though.
Chasing after the bench now.
Got the soup down?
Man, Radiant does not like Dire's bottom.
And dead.
You are killing
Wait
it
the
out
14
there.
seconds.
Double killing it. We need a term for what you're doing.
Do you think they should have just chased her?
You can tell Dire's
Well, duel is back up.
the way it's being
But-
destroyed as I speak.
Would have been funny.
Definitely would have. Maybe if they're a bit higher than just 4K
Dire's middle
ahead,
tower has
they would have
taken
felt a little
one
more
hell of a
comfortable
beating.
doing that. But
Just playing with your food.
yeah,
BKB finish on the CK. I'm not sure that's gonna provide as much as like a typical damage item or a stat item to build up yourself as well as your illusions. I probably would have preferred to have seen the Manta here, but is what it is. Dire starting on the Roshan.
got on Lincoln's on Lina.
Beautiful, love to see it.
Moving towards the E-Blade, which will give him another way of dealing with duel. With LC has the eggs completed, so duel is now going to be a whopping 7.5 seconds. With a 30-second cooldown.
Hope Dire's middle tower is insured. That thing is standing on its last brick.
CK a little out of position, blinks back.
Seems like both teams outside of the LC duel are kind of struggling locking down the other team.
Yeah, I don't think super good teams, you know, had the opportunity to be the initiators here. I think a lot of what's happened on the map's been very reactionary and coincidentally running into the other team.
Pretty sure that the Ags on Legion makes it impossible for him to duel Ursa.
Does it just last
Yeah.
too long?
Well, not only does it last longer, but it makes it so that your team can't help you kill the Ursa.
Yeah.
And the Ursa's team can just put the shield on him, and then the person's taking like 25% damage from the Legion. Like what?
If Ursa gets his ult off, too, it's a full 5-second duration.
Yeah, I mean like everybody else on the team, right? Like is gonna get blown up. I mean, maybe not CK, but like any of the supports or Lina are gonna get destroyed by the Legion. So I mean, it's good in that sense that like the Legion can do a lot of solo picks and not be worried about, you know, taking damage from the enemy team. But yeah, it in some senses that Ags feels like bad versus heroes like Ursa.
CK goes in on the Weaver, the entire Dire team behind him, instantly deleted by a blink duel.
But take back what I said on.
I was even close, Nate. You're gonna get fired.
Fired. Well, wait until he duels Ursa, and we'll see. I'm probably wrong about that too.
I don't know, just sitting at what, 282 duel damage. Maybe before that last duel, but now puts him right over the edge.
Yeah, clearly.
Radiant's middle tower is about to be a pile of
I
smoke.
feel like the only thing that this game is going to come down to, because it's just the map movement section stay on it, is like, how do they initiate the fight? And I think Radiant has a lot harder time figuring out how to do that. You know, Dire, it's very easy to execute, and I think that's what we're seeing, you know, in that kind of scuffle. It's like, CK jumps in and tries to stun Weaver. It's like, what? He's got to follow up. You have to swap into LSA. That's really your only way to initiate a fight here.
But even if everybody runs after the CK blinks in, that CK gets dueled and dies so fast to the Legion at this point that it's like not really any initiation.
Both teams have 5 up, and Radiant are just letting their racks drop here.
Well, they have all the big ults on Dire right now, and a full Lincoln's completed on the Pango. Weaver.
That's how Dire will know the game though. If they're trying to hide around here. I mean, they could But this is
Definitely getting some
Alright,
flashbacks.
never mind.
What popped her Lincolns there? Was that the hurricane pipe? So that was a really heads up play by the Weaver.
That's so greedy of him not to let that go. Go.
Full buyback.
This is the only way. They kill Tango here. They kill
That
Legion.
might be it.
This is a
Legion getting
That's a
low
big tough-
as
Oh,
the
the
cheese
cheese,
pops the
though.
cheese
You're saying
onto the tree and protector.
Oh,
Ooh, dueling the Ursa?
Oh, got the win.
CK died back. This is GG.
Yet I said that. Their bottom tower is in trouble.
Yeah, that was a nice. I mean, they knew they could do it. That sort of felt inevitable.
Solid
They
tri-carry
won't make
lineup.
it easy for themselves. Just back up and wait for Radiant to come out of base. But they knew they could do it. So
Don't you just go for the
I am
end here?
not a betting
I feel
man
like that's
unless it's
the
back.
right call. Maybe not.
Football,
Yep.
horse racing,
Full
rugby.
buybacks.
That fight was so chaotic though.
Oh.
My goodness.
Never mind. Oh, and Fear on the Weaver. Are they gonna get him?
it's supposed to be GG.
They didn't have the LSA to follow up.
Dang, that's a shame. That was so close. They got in the Weaver. Well, it still had Aegis, I suppose. Well, the game's still alive. And how much gold was that for the Lina? It was a 10 godlike streak. Almost 2,000 gold. She's rich.
She's rich.
She's rich and she's buying an E-blade.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I still like the Yules on the Lina for like the LSA setup. You know, even in a situation like this.
I'm convinced that the super Yules, I feel like it's so strong.
Things are looking
Wind
dire.
Waker.
Yeah,
Dire
Wind Waker
bottom
is
tower.
arguably my favorite item in Dota 2 right now. It's so much control. Really nice. You know, the self dispel too. I mean, would have been nice earlier. Oh,
Lena's about
Lena's
to-
gonna run into a bad
Iris from
situation.
Rookie. Okay, they found her.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, they see her. Yeah, she
Yeah,
bladed herself.
E-blade off.
She got the Ravage. Is she gonna get the Warlock before she's down? No. Force
No
that
duel.
away.
That's Dynamic. That should be game.
Yep. Green's drawing a line down the map saying, "Yo, let's get these racks."
To do it. Oh, and a shield rune on the LC? No? Yeah. You're gonna get that duel.
Yep.
Sorry, Nate. That Ursa ain't gonna do
Don't look now,
shit
but
against a
Radiant's
shielded
bottom tower
LC.
is getting obliterated. Okay, fine. You can look. It's kind
Darius creep waves pretty far away. Should be able to backdoor the tower. Yep.
Radiant's bottom
Now they
tower
can
is
push in
a
any of the
pile of
lanes.
dust and gravel.
They need
Jennifer's
someone
talking
shutting down
about
mid right now.
I said a farmed Ursa versus a Legion with 500 dual damage.
What are you talking about? He's 6 slotted.
The Ursa?
Yeah, look at all his slots. They're full.
Yeah, dude, you're crazy.
Ursa going high ground.
Dyer's top tower is
He's like forcing him back. Let's see if they pay any attention. Ursa,
I'm the Knight Escalator.
not well known for being a great base player.
Oh wow, that duel happened fast.
Radiant's middle tower is hanging on by a brick. Dyer's top barracks may not be long for this Earth. That's it for Radiant's middle tower. We'll never forget you.
Lich ult to clean up the
Radiant's
creep
middle tower is
wave.
about to be a pile of smoking rocks.
Didn't even get the last range creep. Oh, they're just going for the mega creeps. Probably see one last fight.
CK pops the BKB. Doesn't seem to be a lot happening.
You rooted. Warlock ult.
The tree completely destroyed the
All right, another Legion Ursa duel ends. No victor.
I was in here for the draft. Did they pick tree first?
The tree was first pick?
Second pick.
Second
Warlock.
pick, yeah,
It did
Warlock
Warlock
Trant.
Trinity.
Yeah.
LC was picked 4th.
Yeah, it looks like game 2 going to a 5-1 urinal. I felt they had lost that draft, but they executed this one very cleanly.
I knew they had it. I felt it firsthand, Joe. I knew the pain. Oh, and the blink away from the LSA.
Oh, this should be good. I think the
Legion
Radiant's
swapping 12. Yeah, Jam's calling it.
And that one less agent for Radiant
All right, gentlemen. Well, I unfortunately will not be awake late enough to cast Game 3, so I'm gonna end the stream. Thank you all for joining me for this.
Yep.